Hey, have you ever wondered why aren't you getting promoted? It's not most of the times because you're not working hard. But let's put that into terms that I think are realistic for everyone. Working hard is just kind of the baseline. Just because you get in early in the morning and you're the last one to leave at night doesn't mean you deserve that promotion. Early in my career, I got passed over. I got passed over because I didn't have some of the business fundamentals and knowledge and experience that were necessary. Yet I was working hard and I was frustrated. Why didn't I get promoted? So let's talk about some of the things and reasons why and how you can get yourself promoted. The difference between hard work and achievement are two different things. And so, again, myself included, I can remember just digging in and working hard and trying to make an impact on the organization. What sometimes really matters is the effort versus impact. Impact is what is achieved, what are the results. And so the effort that's just, again, it's a baseline. You're expected to do that. The impact is the result that comes from that. Having been a CEO for many years and running companies, there's a couple of things that I've picked up, and it's not just coming from me, it's from other CEOs and other leaders that I've had lots of conversations with. There are three things that leaders typically look for when they're looking to promote people. One, they're looking for people that are good listeners. Are they listening to what I'm saying? Two, are they following the directions? Following the directions of the organization. And following the directions doesn't necessarily mean that you've listened to a command and now you're following that. It means following directions. It's the directions of the organization. It could be the company missions. It could be company policies. It could be different seminars that have been taught or different protocols that are in place now for the organization. So following directions, number two. And number three, it's going the extra mile. What's amazing is that, people are expected to do the work. And so you do the job. And so you've done the job and people feel like, well, great, you've done the job. But going that extra mile, doing that little bit extra is amazing. It can make a huge impact. And I can give you an example. Early in my career, again, I was just a kid. And I remember I wanted to get promoted. And I think I was 22, 23 years old. So it's been a few years. And so what I needed to do is I wanted to find a way to get to a different job. I was driving a truck and I wanted to get into a management role. And so I remember going into my boss's office and saying, listen, I love my job. So you got to start with the positive. Love my job, love what I'm doing, love the company. But I'd love to be able to experience or get a chance to experience new opportunities within the organization. How can I do that? How can I get myself promoted to the next level? And he sat back in his chair for a second, put his hand on his chin, and said, interesting. Well, I guess here's what you could do. You can shadow the current manager right now who is doing that job right now and learn from him. And then that will help you to get the experience that's necessary. When there's an opportunity, you will be ready. Because remember, opportunity and preparation are go hand in hand. If you prepare, that opportunity is going to pop up every now and then. But one of the things he shared with me is, listen, I'm not paying you for this extra time. You're doing this on your own. And what a great investment of time that made for me. Now, everybody's different, and maybe there's not an opportunity, but going the extra mile is number three. So listen, follow directions, and go the extra mile. There's three other things that I think are really relevant here. It's the visibility that people see what you are doing, that there's an alignment to what you're doing in the organization. Are you aligned? Are you playing well with others? Being aligned with others is very key. That's what shows how you're working with others in your team. And what's been the outcome? So the outcome is what happened from all the stuff that you did. So when you think about visibility, you think about alignment, and you think about outcomes, those are three other elements that tie into exactly what I'm talking about as far as going that extra mile. Now, visibility doesn't mean you're showing off. Visibility just means that people see that you're working hard. Now, one of the things that I learned years ago, I was in a play, gosh, probably when I was in eighth grade, and I remember the director saying to me, saying to the entire company here, the cast, is listen, you need to always be on because somebody in the audience is always going to be looking at you. And think about it. When you've gone to a play or a musical, there's a person on the stage that just catches your eye. They're doing something, whatever. They've got a funny face, or they're just doing a great dance move, whatever it is. And so visibility means that you're constantly performing, not for attention. You're performing because you care and you're passionate about the job. The alignment means is that we are aligned with our peers, with management, and with people that work for us. So having an alignment to the organization and to the direction of the company is key. And then the outcome. What's been the impact of what you're doing? Hours mean nothing. Effort means nothing. So make sure you keep those things in mind. Now, common traps people fall into, and we all fall into these common traps. And when you think about falling into these common traps, we think about I'm entitled to something. I get to do it because I've been here longer than anyone. I show up before anybody. I stay later than everybody because we fall into these kind of common mistakes, and we just kind of think through that we're deserving of something. What's interesting to me is that I've made those mistakes where I've felt entitled in my career. And that has been just such a bad sign for me as a person, but also me as an employee of an organization. I'm not entitled to anything. I'm entitled to make a good wage because I work hard and I do the job that's expected of me. That's what I'm expected to do. But don't get into those common pitfalls of feeling entitled, that you're entitled to that promotion. That's going to come off as a pity party. It's going to come off as somebody that is just difficult to get along with. So avoid that common pitfall. Now, when you reposition yourself, you become this person that is so valuable to the organization. And again, it's not trying to put light always on you and making yourself look better and putting the other person down. Rises to the top without question. So keep in mind so that you don't fall into this trap. You need to reposition yourself as a leader, somebody that can be trusted, somebody that can be counted on, somebody that's doing it because they care about the greater good of the organization. They're just not looking to get the attention. So when you think of it in those terms, it really does make you a valuable person within the organization. The last thing I want to talk about this here is we want to shift our attention from busy to impact. A simple exercise is shifting from busy to impact. Being busy and working hard and having your head down, but you're kind of crabby and grumpy and you just got a scowl on your face. You don't say hi to anybody. You're kind of walking through, you kind of have a storm cloud all around you. And you're just, you got that, oh, poor is me, or whoa, and whatever you want to do, whatever those words are. But you need to be impactful. What's the impact? And impactful, shifting that and doing that as an exercise makes you a valuable person. So I want to challenge you. I want to challenge you to think and shift your thinking from just being a busy employee that's working hard and getting in all those hours to being an impactful employee and being visible, like we talked about, and showing your attention to the company, not to yourself. Those are the things from a CEO perspective that really gets the attention. Take a minute to subscribe if you really like this content. There's going to be more videos that are helping you fill in that gap and get yourself promoted, get yourself to that next level. Have fun. Talk soon.